Hi friends, Ashley here with Crazy Brave Homeschool. I had a minute here to shoot a short video on a topic that I thought would be kind of fun to talk about, which is homeschool fads that didn't work for us. There are like all of these really great ideas out there, sort of like these trendy ideas. And ideas that have probably been around forever too in the homeschool community. They are the things that I was most excited about when we started homeschooling for the first time this fall. And they are all the things that fell by the wayside. So I will also preface this by saying that we are new homeschoolers, which is probably why none of this stuff worked. And it's hard enough to just make sure you're getting all of your bases covered, right? So to throw in all of this kind of beautiful enrichment is really tough when you're doing it for the first time. So I am not speaking ill of any of this stuff. I think that this stuff is all super awesome. And I hope that one day we will be able to implement it into our homeschool very soon. So without further ado, let's get into this list. Poetry tea time, a lovely concept. I loved the idea of bringing something in the afternoon that was less schoolish and a time to gather again and to reconnect and to make this like festive, like to have a rhythm that was also very festive and cozy and like just that, promoted that concept of hygge. But albeit we tried it and we didn't try it for very long, but it didn't work. I think the hardest part was getting the kids to gather again to do something sort of schoolish was hard for them, once like 2:00 rolled around. I think had I tried it for a little bit longer with just like really fun books that they might have been more into versus like poetry or, some of the books that are a little bit more, like classic or academic. And if I had involved like treats more, maybe, right? Chocolate milk or something, maybe I would have had a better luck. But when I would ask my daughter, do you want to do poetry tea time today? She'd say no. I don't know. So I think that we will try again. It also might be something that is easier to do with maturity, with kids that are a little bit more mature. Although I have seen some really great vlogs on poetry tea time in families with very young kids, and they seem to make it happen. So I don't know. We'll see. I definitely know I'm going to keep trying because I think it is just lovely, but definitely did not work. Okay, so I will also throw poetry in here too. I love poetry. I'm a former poet. I hope to get back to it one day. And I've seen a lot of homeschool families bring in poetry into their homeschool studies, and I have every intention to do it. We have tried it. I have done a little bit of it. It's definitely one of those things that holds my kids' attention the least. I try to keep it seasonal, like seasonal poetry. So we still do it sometimes, but it's definitely not a habit, and it's not something that my kids have shown any interest in either. Okay, next up, morning basket. Love the idea of the morning basket, really do. Tried to do it a few times in a few different ways. What is the issue? I think like my kids are, and it's not like a TV issue because we don't watch TV in the mornings during the week. They're groggy, they just like want to cuddle. Their minds are still just tired. If I tried to bring in like scholastic materials, like I see a lot of these homeschool families doing with their morning basket, I just don't think there's any way. What I tried to do is I brought it out, I would even put it out like on the ottoman for them to find in the morning. And They would just like, they would barely even go to it. And if they looked through it, they weren't really pulling anything out. So I don't know. Yeah, it could be that the stuff I'm putting in there is, needs work. I also think too that I was really leaving it entirely up to them. I was sort of treating it as like this, like perhaps like a self-led learning thing. And if it's up to them, they're not going to do it. Maybe again, with time and maturity. And then I see families using the morning basket as their like family subject curriculum. And there's just no way that my kids are gonna like wake up and do this curriculum together in the morning. So yes, I know. With that being said, there are families that do it in the afternoon. They have a morning basket, but it's more like an afternoon basket. So again, we hit that problem, coming back, connecting again in this sort of schoolish way in the afternoon once our school lessons are done. They're not going to do it. So the closest thing that we have come is my daughter is really into this history curriculum that we're doing. I've talked about in past videos, this American Girl thing. So we are reading a lot of the American Girl books, and she does enjoy starting her mornings out. I'd say most mornings a week, reading a little of the American Girl books. So that's the closest thing we have to morning basket right now, and I'll take it. But again, I love the idea of morning basket. I'm really just not sure that I know how to implement it or that I know what to put in it yet. So as it stands, morning basket did not work. Okay, morning menus. Another great idea. Love the idea of morning menus, firing up the kids' brains before they start their lessons. It took us a long time. It took me a while to finally buy them. I think I had tried using maybe a few printouts of my own and having them do a few things, trying to get them to, do a few things that are like morning menus and, before lessons. It really didn't go over well. So for months, I didn't try again until I finally saw someone promoting the Gentle Classical preschool morning menus. And then I checked them out and I'm like, okay, we'll try again. This actually kind of works. I'm not going to say it's a total flop. My daughter kind of like hurries through it. And she doesn't typically enjoy like the little math problems that I put in at the end because she knows that math is coming in our normal lessons. And she's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do extra. But she has been enjoying how to write, writing her address, her phone number, her birthday, obviously her name. So the calendar work has been really good. That's been good. So the reason I say it sort of flopped is because my son, who's 4, never wants to do them, ever. So it's like 50% flop, I guess. Okay, next up, nature study. Oh, nature study. It was like my most exciting thing. I was so excited to make this a big part of our school day. And I even put together this nature cart with like these really beautiful guides and these other like larger books for reference and watercolors and like even the water brushes, like where you put the water in and then you squeeze it and it's a brush and you can use it on your watercolor pencils. We have a little traveling microscope, the actual nature journals, all of it, right? I got all of it. And I think what was the biggest issue was that our curriculum with Blossom and Root, the nature study, I was not into. It was not our kind of nature study. So that part made it hard to start really implementing. And I was like, well, we'll just do it on our own. And again, it's like once the lessons are done, this is my first year. So we're just trying to get these lessons done. We're wrapping them up within 60 to 90 minutes a day. Once the lessons are done, the kids just want their free time for the rest of the day, and I get it. So trying to, again, corral them to go on a hike or something with our notebooks and intentionally study something, even in the backyard. We would do it. I'd set up the blanket, we'd bring a snack. We would, I'd have an idea and we would do it, but there was just not a lot of excitement around it. And I'm going to say it again. I think maybe it's just a maturity thing. They're 6.5 and 4 years old. I think it's just maybe a little young. But with that being said, I just still absolutely love the idea of being a naturalist family. And I really want to do it too. I've been working on my own journal with them. So every time we go to the beach or the park or something, I try to bring my journal and theirs with. And sometimes this works. Most of the time it doesn't. You know, I guess it's a part success because I'm still trying and I still know it's important to me. So with that being said, our science curriculum also didn't work out. So I've been doing our own like DIY science units. And we're studying a lot about animals. So every science unit, which is once a week, I have my daughter fill out her science log, which is just drawing a picture about what we learned about and, you know, writing a few sentences. So I'm kind of calling that our nature study right now. And it's something. But yes, the whole nature study thing, I really wanted it to just work beautifully, and it didn't. Okay, subscription boxes. I still want these to work. And it's not that they really haven't, but there hasn't been as much excitement around them as I thought there would be. So right now our subscription boxes are KiwiCo and Little Global Citizens. And Letters from Afar. So the KiwiCo, you know, sometimes they want to open one up, but most of the time when I pull it out as like an intentional lesson, or even if it's not intentional, it's like, hey, we're bored, let's do a KiwiCo. They're like, okay, you know, there's just not a lot of excitement around it. And sometimes they really get into the end product. Most of the time, they're not super into it. So I don't know. I love KiwiCo. I think all this stuff is super neat, but I guess that's just me. So I figured we were going to do it again for second grade. And I guess why would I? Maybe we'll take a break from it because there's just not enough excitement. Okay, so then Letters from Little Global Citizens, I love too. And I don't think that they don't like it, but again, there's just not enough excitement around it. And they love doing crafts. So I don't know. What is the issue? It's like, I don't know, maybe because it just feels really schoolish. Like we're pulling it out. And of course, when we're doing the crafts, I'm pairing it with this incredible like magazine that it comes with. There's like, you know, an article written by a child from that country, and she tells about her life there. And then there's lots of great facts about the country, of course. And then it always comes with a book, like some piece of literature about the country. That's usually like a children's book. It's not like dry. So I think because it's coming with these things that I'm reading while they're doing the crafts, it's, you know, again, I don't know, maybe it just feels less fun. And again, they're still young. So I don't know, Little Global Citizens, I totally figured we were going to do it again next year. And we still might. We'll see. Letters from Afar. Oh my God. Like from the first letter, I think they are spectacular. But from the first letter, my daughter was totally bored by it. And even like this, they're so beautiful. The paintings, like they're so well done. But yeah, she's not into it. So I think we've only gotten like maybe 6. We have 6 more coming. So I'm not going to do the subscription again until maybe they're a little bit older. But I do love having these letters to add to our unit studies for when we do study these specific countries. So with that being said, subscription boxes I still want to do. So there are a couple more that I'm looking at. I have a kids art box that is on its way because I'm kind of thinking this might be our art curriculum next year. And then, so we haven't tried it yet. And then there's, I don't have it in front of me. It's about animals. It's about wild animals. Wild nature, maybe that's what it's called. I'll link it when I figure out what it's called. But my kids really love animals. So we're going to try this like wild nature one, wild animal one that also includes, you know, quite a bit of geography. So we're going to try those. I'm going to keep trying with subscription boxes. Okay, the last one I have here is Homeschool Co-op. So this for us sort of represents a lot of, like, a few different avenues. It's not like it's not really like there are homeschool co-ops even available, really, where we live. Like, they're not convenient. We live in a small town in a large county. So there's actually a huge homeschool community in our county. We live in a small town that is about 40 minutes away from a lot of the homeschool action. So we are a part of our charter school, but all of the field trips, like the ones that we've gone to, there haven't really been enough people that go to these field trips to connect with, I've found. And the bigger ones that we've gone to, like the bigger get-togethers, are so big. There's like thousands of people that are a part of our charter school. So it's just overwhelming. It's way too many people for you to connect with anyone. So the charter school has not been a great opportunity for connecting. So I have tried joining a homeschool co-op in our county, and we went a few times, and I just found that it wasn't very welcoming. Like, even on the first day, we just felt like such outsiders. And we went like maybe 2 or 3 more times. And again, it just wasn't super friendly. I also am from California. Sometimes it can be hard to find your people in California. And I'm from Minnesota, where people are overly nice. Anyway, whatever. I don't need to get into that. Okay, so the charter school, not great for finding families to connect with, maybe because we're too far away. The homeschool co-op we tried, not welcoming. I tried to put together a homeschool co-op because I am very, motivated, especially with homeschool. And we have there were like 5 other families within like a 30-minute distance from us. And I think we only got together a couple of times because people just canceled, So then the homeschool co-op I tried to put together did not work. Since then, I have made more friends in our homeschool community. I know a few families, I'd say probably half a dozen homeschool families in my neighborhood, like in my town, my very small town. So I feel very grateful for that. But anytime that I've sort of brought up trying to put together like a meetup or a co-op or something, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of interest. I don't know, it's hard for people to make time, I think. I think life is just really busy. So we're doing okay. We have some friends that we see for sure, but homeschool co-op, that sounds great. It just has not been something that has worked for us. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so there we have it. Poetry tea time, morning basket, nature study, morning menus, subscription boxes, and homeschool co-op. All of these fantastic ideas have not yet worked for our homeschool family. All right, I would love to hear in the comments box if you have had awesome luck with any of these or bad luck with any of them. And a little bit of camaraderie on this video would be really appreciated. All right, cool guys, have a great week. All right, talk to you soon.